4 out of 5 businesses support and want to advertise with LGBTQ+ content. The 2022 U.S. Brand Safety Consumer Survey is in, and the results are somewhat surprising for businesses that embrace LGBTQ+ community. And the news is actually very good. Respondents express whether brand advertisers should associate with certain topics in the U.S. news and entertainment marketplace. The story content that has the most rejection for brands was stories about murder, violent crimes, where 27% said they would not associate advertising with the topic. Next was controversial politicians at 26%, news related to school shootings at 25%, then abortion at 23%, and association with LGBTQ+ issues at 23% is number 5. This is actually very good news. That means positive attitudes towards LGBTQ+ was at 77% for advertisers and consumers that would purchase brand products, the highest brand embracement number for LGBTQ+ in history. By contrast, far larger percentages are considered the noxious 9. These are other types of non-news content that should be completely blocked by brand advertisers. Those noxious 9 topics, which align with equivalent categories in the GARM Brand Safety Suitability Framework, are: number 1, sexually explicit or pornographic content, 70% said to block nearby ads. Number 2, hate speech or racist comments, 70% also said to block that. Number 3 is unsafe or hacked websites at 68%. Number 4 is illegal drug-related content at 65%. Number 5 is terrorism-related content at 59%. Number 6 is content about violence, injury, and death at 53%. Number 7 is stolen or pirated movies or TV shows, 48%. Number 8 is profanity or obscene language, also at 48%. And number 9 is gun and ammunition-related content at 46%. The survey found that 88% of U.S. consumers believe it's important for advertisers to make sure their ads are not placed on websites or apps that contain dangerous, offensive, or inappropriate content. Other significant findings of the survey found that consumers worldwide believe that the U.S. is the world leader of dangerous, offensive, or inappropriate content online. 76% said the U.S. compared to just 13% for the Asia-Pacific region and 11% for the UK and Europe. For the first time ever, a brand safety survey, more than half of all respondents believe online content is dangerous, offensive, or inappropriate. 85% consumers said hate speech has increased online over the last year, and 45% increased a great deal. An overwhelming majority, 88%, said they would support or punish brands that did not stand up to dangerous, offensive, or inappropriate messages. You know, a key point of this to me is that gun-related content, not violence, just gun-related, more than half say ads shouldn't be near it, and half, again, that number, are against gay. That means more people support LGBT causes than support guns and ammunition, and the Second Amendment that the right wing thinks is the most important thing in, the U.S. right now, whereas civil rights are much more accepted.
But on the other hand, bear in mind that for every brand that runs away from controversial or hateful content, I mean, for God's sake, Tucker Carlson don't get any advertisers anymore. But for every Tucker Carlson, there'll be one My Pillow. There are brands that deliberately market themselves towards that specific minority.
Well, it's niche
because
marketing,
that's where the money is to them.
Mm-hmm. I'm old enough to remember when, I don't know if the GARM survey and analysis would have been around in the 1990s, but I can remember when LGBTQ would have been part of the Noxious 9, whether they called it that or not back then. And I remember Absolute Vodka took a huge hit, but they also embraced us and loved us and came to all of our prides and got us drunk and support us. So the fact that we have come that far and swung the pendulum, don't talk to me about, corporate embracement only in June. They're there for us all year round. And certain brands, look at the ones that have been around. Absolute, Stoli, yes, I see a theme there. But on the whole, it's much better.
Well, that's also Levi's. There are also other apparel brands, lifestyle brands that supports us, and not just liquor. Although I remember the first thing that I associate with vodka, Absolute Vodka, is the gay pride thing, because that's where they advertise it. I grew up. I came of age. I turned 21 in early 2000s. I have never drank before then. Just take my word for it.
I guess for my generation, It's very interesting to me because there would be a time, say on the subway back in the 80s, where I would have my Village Voice folded and I wouldn't even want anyone to see that I had that in my hand. You know what I mean? Let alone a corporation kind of coming out and backing civil rights in that way. So I see it as just a time where people can just be a lot more free across the board. And in order to do that, right, then we have to be seen. We have to be visible, and our stories have to be out there. And corporations are recognizing that. So I think it just looks like progress to me.
Well, and there has been progress even before that. Anita Bryant, you know, infamous. The Florida Citrus Growers Association with their Orange Bird had the Anita Bryant commercials, and when she was doing her religious proselytizing, they were fine with her. But when she went hardcore anti-LGBTQ, they not only cut ties with her, they got rid of the Orange Bird mascot because it was associated with her. Until recently, they just brought him back because Disney bought it as a character. So there have been brand embracements of us in the past in one way or another, not as visibly or vocally as there are now, but you know, we've always had some corporate friends.
Yeah, but you know, Anita could sing though.
She could.
If she were alive, she'd do a whole album of Britney Spears covers, and I just know she would.
No, she's still alive.
Well, her career is.
Well, her career is dead. Yeah.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.